This is an exciting time for me to be here in this wadi that drains out to the little village called Muxel. It's near the blowhole that is west of Salalah, about 20 miles. Very exciting place. But this is exciting to be here for me for many reasons. One is because I have all of my diamonds and crown diamonds here with me to share this remarkable moment in time. I've been here at this tree several times over the past years. And why is this tree special to me? Because it is said by the villagers that live here in the wadi to be approximately 850 years old. No one actually really knows the exact age, but somewhere in that time frame. But this tree has stood through wind and rain and monsoons and drought, and it has seen every condition and every weather, climate change that's imaginable, and it still is living and standing here against all odds at that age, which is not common for a frankincense tree. So this has been really a joy for me to be able to bring my people here, my friends and family, to share this wonderful experience with. But what I'd like to do now is just talk a little bit about the frankincense tree. And since this is April, we're 2 months, almost 3 months away from the start of the monsoon season. And this is the time of the year when the frankincense tree will produce the least amount of resin for, or what we call luban, that produces the resin. The tree starts to take on water just prior to the starting of the monsoon season, and then really takes it up through July and August. At September, the tree is very full with water, and then when you shave it at that time, the luban really bursts forth, and that's some of the best quality of luban that is captured anywhere from September through until December time. Now, ancient times they only harvested once every other year. Then it went to every year, and now they harvest twice a year because of the demand for the resin. It has been said that when a tree is harvested twice a year, it won't reproduce, meaning it creates a sterility within the flowers, and so it doesn't produce a seed. Trees that are harvested every other year will reproduce. We know now that a lot of trees, actually probably over 98% of the trees that used to live here in Oman have died over the course of time because of over-harvesting and also abusiveness to the tree. And we see this tree here that has been cut here. This has been done by tourists that didn't know what they were doing, and this generally would kill a tree that was a younger tree if that was done to it. So those are some of the things that are very interesting. So how do you tap a tree, and how's the best way to get the resin out? So the traditional way is the families that lived in a region had the rights to harvest in that region, and they couldn't cross territories. That was forbidden. And it was referred to as poaching. Even foreigners that come in from other countries will poach the resin. So just simple, make a shave, and you take it down into the red matter. So when you're shaving, you just take off the top 3 layers of bark until you get down into the red inner bark, and that's it. You don't have to go in any deeper, because if you do, you can damage the tree. And immediately you start seeing the luban coming to the surface. Now, at the end of the monsoon season, even prior to the monsoon, to make a slice like this, that luban would come out so fast that you wouldn't even get your knife down before it would be running down the tree. But because this is off season, it takes a little longer for it to come out. The other thing is this tree is so old, it will naturally produce less resin than a young tree that's 50 to 75 years old.
Gary, what are these black marks here on the tree?
This is from people that cut it previously. The frankincense tree has a remarkable way of healing, and if you scrape that off, you see underneath it's new bark, and you still have some resin in there, like that's all resin mixed with the new bark that is regrown. But it's just like making a scrape on your skin. You know, the skin will grow back and you don't even see it, and this will grow completely over. And in 2 years you won't see these black marks because this will all flake off and you'll have fresh new bark here again. So every 2 to 3 years you can actually recut the tree in the same location without damaging the tree. But a lot of people make the mistake of cutting the tree in the same location over and over and over. And that's what's called overbleeding, which damages the tree. So it's really in looking at how we take care of it.
Hey, Gary,
Hi, Kat.
I noticed here that it looks like this could drip down.
Yes.
Will it drip down
Oh
and
my
then
goodness,
lose some
of course.
frankincense?
Yeah, we made this slice probably 15 minutes ago, and you can see it's still, the lubon is still running out, and it'll drip right on the ground. A lot of times on new trees, when I've cut them in the past, we would put a mat underneath for the lubon to drip on and catch, because a young tree, it'll run just like milk, and because it's white, that's lubon means milky white.
Oh, beautiful.
So you can see, imagine this now, we come back in 10 days and reopen this wound, the second cut will generally provide 30 to 40% more oil. The third cut, which is 45 days from the first one, will yield almost 90% more.
Oh, wow.
So
Well,
isn't that
it's
pretty?
sure beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Gary, is one slice enough to get the resin you need?
Oh no, this just is just the first cut. Then we wait 10 days and we let that just continue to ooze out. And after 10 days we come back. Now the tradition was that the people in the territory, they had thousands, tens of thousands of these trees. So they would have a circle or a circuit where they would go and they just cut all the trees in the wadi, and by the time they got back to this tree it would normally take them 10 days. And 10 days they'd be ready, and then they would come back and they would reopen the wound a second time. And they would take off all the resin that bled out that first time and reopen it a second time. Then they would do that on all the trees as they made their circuit the second time. They would come back another 10 days later, they would reopen the wound again and actually take it just a little bit deeper. They would give that 15 days. At that point, then we'd have resin crystals here that would be as large as golf balls. So it was about a 45-day process from making the first cut to the final cut to take the resin. And then after you did that, you would move to another location to start another cut. So you could do 2 cuts over a 90-day period of time. Now a tree this size would have anywhere from 200 to 300 cuts on if they were in the actual harvesting process.